thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sure you'll agree 2020 has been an unpredictable and difficult year for everyone in the industry, really. But hopefully signs of improvement on the horizon now with talks about vaccine and whatnot. Maybe you could just start by giving us an insight into what the main challenges have been in 2020 for Huawei.
Yeah, sure. Of course, 2020 was a challenging year for everyone, right? For every economy, for every country, and for every company, and for every person, and for every family. I think everyone was taken by surprise, if you want, by the COVID-19. No one was expecting, no one was ready for that. But of course, the infrastructure for different countries and the readiness also and the planning for different companies varied from one to another, and that's why some survived very well and some maybe struggled or were facing some challenges. For Huawei, actually, it was a relatively good year, I would say, because in H1 we managed to grow the business by 15% year over year, and then in Q3 we also grew the business by 10% year over year. So while the numbers are positive and maybe compared to a lot of other ICT players didn't make double digits, I'm not aware of anyone honestly in the industry who managed to make double digits yet, because Huawei is a very ambitious company and we are also relatively young. Our expectations for the growth are much higher. So they didn't make the growth that we wanted to make, or we were hoping or aspiring to make. But at the same time, we managed to make a relatively good growth across the year, and we are expecting also to close a good year this year. Of course, we had to take all the precautions and no traveling and that has an impact as an overall. But I think the health and safety of our people and our customers has been put as the first priority. And I think this is the most important. And at the same time, we have a business continuity plans that we have brought in place again almost 10 years back, dealing with different suppliers from different countries, even within the same country from different cities, just to make sure, and of course we have a number of plans, it's not one, just to make sure that when we face any situation like the one we faced or others, at least we have some processes in place, some infrastructure in place, and some tools in place that can help us overcome and face such situations. And hence, we managed actually to continue our business. I think at a certain point, we're the only ICT player who was able to ship and bring equipment to the Middle East. Yeah, at a certain point, the flights were stopped and there were a lot of challenges, yet we continue to deliver on our commitment to our customers.
I suppose one of the main takeaway points from the pandemic and from 2020 is just how important digitalization is for consumers and businesses, particularly here in the Middle East. Is that a trend that you expect to continue into 2021?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, as you rightly said, that's a very good learning exercise for all of us. I think when we saw the situation and everyone had to work from home, everyone had to study from home, even doctors and physicians had to do some consultation remotely. For the countries who have the infrastructure, I think we're lucky in Dubai, Saudi, in the Gulf in general, because the infrastructure is very strong, and hence we're able to manage the situation. We didn't notice actually that there is a problem. I don't recall one day or 1 hour to say the network is down, I cannot send a file, or I cannot have the video, or the line is breaking. In other countries, that was not the case. In other countries, without mentioning names, some students for their exams end of the year, they were supposed all of them to do it online, and a lot of them couldn't make it, and it was a big trouble. Right. Networks usually are planned for 70% utilization. The average globally, I think, went up to 90% during the pandemic. For some countries, it exceeded 100%. In other words, that the network capacity was not enough to serve what they want to get. And hence the importance of the ICT infrastructure, the importance of the connectivity, and of course working from home and studying remotely and telemedicine and so on are becoming, now we have learned and have got the benefit of that as well. Yeah, everything of course has pros and cons, but we have learned the importance of that and how effective it is. Yeah, I tell you, previously, of course, I used to travel a lot. So I don't know, going to Jordan, going to Saudi, going to Kuwait, that if I want to visit these 3 countries, maybe it will take me like a week to 10 days. And the reason why I'm giving these 3 countries in particular, because in one day I had actually meetings in the 3 countries online. Yeah, in like 3-4 hours, I finished the 3-4 meetings, meeting my customers and partners in these countries. So it's a very effective tool in other words, right? And of course, it is not that we're forced, of course, but now we are going to also benefit from the technology. In a sense, when we are all bought in this difficult situation, we started to look for creative solutions. So just to give you some examples, when you are talking about remote education, and now having everything on the cloud and connecting the students, using AI, you can analyze the behavior of the students. Yeah, so if I'm sitting in a classroom connecting with you, and if I'm busy playing with my phone, right? Or if I'm actually dropping, sleeping, or if I'm not sitting properly, right? Which is not healthy for my back, the system will be able to analyze all of that and give a signal to the instructor or whoever concerned person to take the corrective action, right? Maybe in a normal situation, if the students are sitting in the classroom, no one will observe all of that. Maybe will observe some, but not all of it. So that's just one example of one of the benefits, if you want, from the remote education or remote learning, and a lot of applications actually in the telemedicine and so I think we have all learned from the situation of the pandemic in 2020. We have leveraged on that. Also, we have seen it as an opportunity, and what else can we learn? How can we be more proactive for the future? What other solutions and creativity can we bring and innovation can we bring to the table? And I think everyone is leveraging that now for the future. And I think this model of remote learning and telemedicine and telemeetings, I think that will increase as we go.
That's great, thank you. Obviously, here in the Middle East, we're very fortunate that we live in a region with good fixed line fiber penetration and also good mobile 5G penetration, albeit at an early stage. Obviously, the next step in that mobile connectivity evolution is the transition to standalone 5G. Is that something that you think operators will be looking at in 2021?
Yeah, I think if you visit us at GITEX, I don't know if you got the chance or you will get the chance, but we are talking about 5,000 new applications, intelligent applications on top of 5G. And I think it's all about creating the value out of 5G along with the other technologies, talking about AI, cloud, and big data. And I'm sure you are aware that the applications and benefits that we can get on the mobile from the 5G as consumer is maybe 15-20% of the real value that we can get. The real value can actually go not only for the consumer, but also for the different industries and different industry applications. So when you are talking about digital transformation and Industry 4, these are the real applications and values that you will be getting from the 5G. In here, actually, we are showing number of these applications, things like the smart grid, smart pipeline, digital oil field, smart education, like the one I explained to you, smart cities and smart governments. So number of applications we are showcasing here in GITEX. The current project that we are working on for different scenarios and different solutions is almost 1,000. The total that we are considering and building for are 5,000 different applications. Yeah, and I think this is a very good. We had also a lot of operators actually visiting us and discussing with us the different applications and how can they host that in their cloud if they want, or how they can also connect our Huawei cloud and benefit from the different applications. Because of course, we have something like Atlas 9000. This is the biggest AI training machine in the world. We have it available on our cloud. Of course, not everyone can have that. Of course, as individuals or as organizations, we cannot afford to have such giant machines. Operators, maybe some of them can afford, some cannot afford. But now everyone is talking and thinking of shared economy, right? So if we have these benefits available on Huawei Cloud, why do I need to reinvent the wheel? Maybe I just need to connect to Huawei Cloud, get what I want from there, and maybe connect to other clouds as well, and benefit and take the best from all the best, and then I provide the top of that, right? So all the operators, I think, are considering that. They are integrating and growing their enterprise business, and they are leveraging on the 5G from an industrial applications point of view to bring more value to their customers and to the market and to the countries.
Great. And maybe just to close, a few words on GITEX. What have you guys been up to at the show so far? What's your experience been?
Yeah, actually, I'm positively surprised. Honestly, in the beginning, there was a question mark. Are we going to have it live or are we going to have it online? And because practically, reality is this is the first live event face-to-face in the ICT industry this year. But as you rightly said in the opening of the discussion, the vaccine now is coming. We now know the indication. We know the right precautions to take. So I see a very high level of precautions and safety measures taken in GITEX, which is very good. I see good number of presence, actually exceeded my expectations personally, given the situation, which is also very, very positive. And I think it's a pioneer decision to say, okay, I will be the first to make it live, and I will make sure that I have all the precautions in place to make it a success. For Huawei, we actually doubled our presence this year in GITEX. Some others, as you know, they didn't even participate. But we decided to double our participation because we see that an opportunity, right? When there is a challenge, there is also an opportunity, and we are a young organization. We are leading in the technology. So we have seen this as a good opportunity for Huawei, and hence we increase the investments, and we are showcasing all the new technologies we have at GITEX, along with the solutions on top of it to bring value together with our partners to our customers.